Good. Fantastic question. So this is specific to science then. Um, One thing that's pretty great that Charter Oak did, actually, they did it while I was a student. I was class of 2004, by the way, in case any of my old peers might be tuning in today. And right around that time, as I was getting ready to graduate, Charter Oak began construction on a building, this great two-story building on the Charter Oak campus, which contains a lot of important science labs. And so we didn't have that when I was a student. And I've had the chance to go in there and tour these labs, not only many years ago, but recently as well. And so these labs are fantastic. They're very much similar to labs that I've been involved in at even at university levels, which is great. And I think we need to capitalize on that. So I think what we need to do then is start to look at what are some of these modern technologies that students going into a science program at a university per se, that they might be, what's the word, I guess, that they will be thrust into very quickly, but that most high school students don't really receive training in. And so, for example, I think if we can be able to, partner with grants and bring in equipment such as micropipettes, which we definitely have some already, but to be able to have enough micropipettes that all of our students can actually utilize them on a regular basis, that's huge because it's a simple piece of equipment that's used commonplace in all science labs, but it's something that most students don't have extreme proficiency in. Even when we think about simple things like microscopes, again, bringing in levels of microscopes and numbers of microscopes that our students can become proficient in them, that's key. Because oftentimes as an educator, I'm having to teach my students from the ground up. And I love to do that, but how much greater would it be if they came equipped with those techniques? And then getting more advanced, right? So microscopes and pipettes, those are pretty commonplace. But we start to look at, having quantitative PCR. Now, okay, I maybe shouldn't get into too much jargon, but there can be some really great equipment that we bring in. And I think that's what we look at because now more and more science is about the technology that you're exposed to. Science is about that training that you had, that practical application. And so that's key. Now, at the Charter Oak campus, we have these labs, which is fantastic. And we need to equip them with great resources. But then going down the chain, down into Royal Oak, down into our elementary programs, that's also an area where I think we need to take a closer look at how we can empower science. In our current elementary schools, there is a fairly limited science curriculum, and many of our teachers obviously are having to provide their own resources and their own lesson plans around science. So I'd love to kind of see a more unified science curriculum within our district at the elementary level, with built-in resources and equipment, a very specific curriculum, so that all of our students, even from a very young age, are exposed to the wonderment of science. Now, obviously, studying science is going to be something that specific groups may choose and other groups may certainly not choose, but in terms of careers, but exposure to science from a young age is something I think is critical for all of us. Just being able to understand more about the world around us, being able to have that wonderment, that's huge. And that actually also feeds into a topic that we call information literacy, that as people get older, meaning become adults, we also now have kind of a responsibility to be able to process information that is provided to us. And in our current day and age, with the internet, information can come at us from lots of angles, any angle really, right? And anybody's voice can be amplified through the internet to provide certain information. But not all that information is created equally. Some information is fantastic coming from experts, and some information may not be coming from an expert source. It may or may not be reliable. And so being able to tell the difference between what is sound information and what is information that warrants some more investigation, that's a critical skill. And that's something that we can build from a very early age. So that to me is really important. I think that's, again, a skill that empowers all of our students, no matter what passion or career they may choose in the future. But that's a skill that they're going to utilize forever.